Coming up with new ways to make candied sweet potatoes can be challenging, but this idea hit me and oh my gosh, is it delicious. It is bacon wrapped sweet potato wheels with a little bit of a glaze underneath these toasted marshmallows. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And today's recipe is for these delicious bacon wrapped sweet potatoes that we top with some marshmallows and then air crisp them. Oh my gosh, they're so easy to make, they're so delicious, and the best thing of all is you can make them ahead of time. All right, so let's get started. The first thing you need to do is have one sweet potato. Now you could make up more than just one sweet potato. That's no problem. You can pressure cook more than one sweet potato. Just because of the limitations in the size of the foodie, and we use the basket for the air crisping part, I can only get about 4 to 5 slices in the basket comfortably. If you were gonna use an air fry oven or the indoor grill even, you could probably get a few more, but probably still just one sweet potato is gonna fit at a time. But you can make up the sweet potatoes as many as you want ahead of time and then just batch cook them. Or even, if you have the XL oven, you can certainly do an entire tray at once, which would be great for the holidays. All right, so when you're picking out your sweet potato, or sweet potatoes, try to pick the ones that are uniform all the way around. There's some that have like a larger middle and then tapered ends. We want to be able to cut consistent circles of the sweet potato so we can wrap them in bacon and then air crisp them up. So the more uniform they are, the better. All right, so I'm going to use the rack to pressure cook, and I'm going to use 1 cup of water. I'm just going to pour that right in. Now, to pressure cook, I'm gonna pressure cook 15 minutes because of the circumference of my sweet potato. If your sweet potato was larger, you might wanna take that up to 20 minutes. We wanna get a nice cook on the potato so it's really easy to peel. That's one of the best things that I love about making sweet potatoes this way is they're just so easy to peel. So you want them to be soft, but not mushy. So that's why I'm gonna go with 15 minutes. I'd rather underestimate the time than overestimate the time. You can always use bake roast to cook them longer or even go back under pressure. All right, so we're gonna select pressure, high is what we want, and we wanna take the time up to 15 minutes and hit the start button. So while the sweet potato is pressure cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the glaze so that it has a time to sit and all the flavors will incorporate. Super easy, only 3 ingredients. So I have a small bowl here, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of a spicy mustard. You can use any type of mustard that you like. This is just a spicy, like Dijon type of mustard. And we're gonna mix that up. All right, so we will let that sit while our sweet potato pressure cooks. Now, the parts that you can do ahead of time, definitely you can do all your sweet potatoes, so pressure cook all your sweet potatoes. Or if you don't have a pressure cooker, you wanna use the indoor grill or the oven. You can bake your sweet potatoes. I have tested the recipe that way. It works perfectly. You wanna bake them for about 40 or 45 minutes or so, and then let them cool down, peel the skin off, and then slice them into about 1.5 to 2 inch circles, okay? So you have little wheels, and then we're gonna wrap them in the bacon. It's absolutely delicious. All right, so it took no time at all for the pot to come under pressure, probably, 3 to 5 minutes, and then we pressure cooked for 15, and now I'm gonna do an immediate release. All right, the pin has dropped, so now we can open up the lid. Make sure you do that away from you because it will be a little steamy for a minute or so. and then you just lift out the sweet potato and let it cool. And you can do that right on your cutting board. You don't need to put it on a cooling rack or anything, but you want to be able to handle it. One thing I do is kind of feel it, and it feels like it's perfectly cooked. So I think we are good to go on the time there. And I will dump out the water from the inner pot, let this cool for a few minutes, and then we will get to assembling our bacon wrapped sweet potatoes and getting them into air crisp. All right, so let's get to assembling our bacon wrapped sweet potatoes. So what I like to do is take the end off, just slice through it there, each end, I should say. Now I slice the wheels while the peel is still on. That is totally up to you. You could peel it and then slice it. However, it's easier to hold on to, I find, with the skin intact. And I'm just gonna go, and you wanna kind of judge your bacon. And I should mention this is thick cut bacon, okay? So it's applewood smoked thick cut bacon. If you were using a thin bacon, that's fine, but you might want to put 2 pieces on so that it covers the entire height of the sweet potato. So I just kind of, guesstimate here. I want about 1/4 of an inch shorter or less than the bacon. So the width of the bacon, I want to go about maybe 1/4 of an inch less than that when I cut these wheels, and I'll explain that in a minute. Hopefully this didn't overcook. All right, about like that. Now this is a nice long sweet potato, so I'm gonna get more than 4 out, but I'm only gonna make 4. It's perfectly cooked, by the way. All right. So perfectly cooked. Now it's just so simple. You just peel that skin right off. Perfect. Now we're gonna wrap our bacon. Now you can trim your bacon. So if you've got a more narrow size, you can trim your bacon or you can overlap it a little bit, but I wouldn't overlap it a whole lot or you're not gonna get as much rendering of the fat and it won't be as crispy. So just go around here, and I specifically kept them a little bit less of depth than the bacon because we're gonna sit that glaze right on top here. So I will pick this up and show you in just a minute. So wrap your bacon around and then secure with a toothpick. So go straight in the middle, and I'll turn this around so you can see this as well. So secure your bacon straight through the middle of the sweet potato with a little toothpick. And there's a lip here. That is about 1/4 of an inch. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So you're going to repeat that for all of the sweet potatoes. I'm going to trim this one. I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit bigger. If you had a very small section, you could cut a piece of bacon in half too. That's no problem. Putting the meat side down because I really want the fat to have a nice chance to render out here. And then I think this little piece right here, I'm just going to trim off a little bit. Perfect. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to, I have the basket in, and I'm gonna use, I have a little mat that has holes in it, and this came with my dehydration rack that I just recently got. And I'm gonna use that to line the bottom just so the sweet potatoes don't stick. If you don't have one of those, it's perfectly fine. Just put a little bit of parchment paper in there and then maybe poke some holes. I just found that right on the rack, the sweet potatoes kind of stuck a little bit. It wasn't a deal breaker. I was able to get them out fine. It just took a little bit more effort. So to prevent that from happening, hopefully, I'm gonna use this mat today. All right, so now we're gonna set these pieces in here. And I probably could have gotten 5, maybe even 6 in here. But 4 fits really comfortably, so I'm just gonna leave it alone there. All right, now we're gonna spoon on that glaze. So the lip of the bacon holds the glaze on the top. It also, the glaze will start to go and bake or onto the bacon, so it candies our bacon as it's crisping. It's just wonderful. Okay. Some is gonna fall off for sure. No, don't worry about it. So I put about 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon or so in each. I'm not too particular about it. I just go around and put it on, and then if I need to add more, I add more. It's gonna drip down the sides, no big deal. Just kind of fill those little cups up the best you can. That looks good. All right, now we're gonna close the crisping lid, and we're gonna go to the air crisp function, and we're gonna take it down to 330. And hit start. The reason I'm going at a low temperature is because you want the bacon to really cook and render that fat and become very crispy. You don't want it to burn. So I take the temperature down to 330 and I let it go somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes, maybe even longer if we need to, depending on how the bacon's cooking. But I'm gonna leave it alone for a good 10 minutes before I check on it. All right, so it's been just about 10 minutes and we're going to take a peek and see how the bacon is doing. And it's looking really good, but it has not rendered enough around the side, so we're gonna keep going. If you see that your bacon is burning on top, which mine is not, but if you see that, you can lower your heat even more. And if you don't have an air fryer that has the setting of 330, don't get caught up on that. You can start it off at 350 or start it off at 325, and then just make adjustments as you go. The idea is to completely render and crisp up that bacon, finish cooking the sweet potatoes all the way through to get them nice and soft, and to caramelize that glaze that we put on. Then we're going to top it with some marshmallows, which is of course totally optional, but really adds like a nice little holiday type of feel to the dish. All right, let's take another peek and see how they're doing. Oh my gosh. They look and smell absolutely amazing, but we're not quite there yet. The edges of the bacon are still not crispy and rendered like I want, so we're just gonna keep going. Even if we need to keep going past the 20 minutes. So I'm gonna let it go another 5, but I'm gonna put 5 more on the clock there. So we're gonna go another 5, and this will vary. It will vary based on the thickness of your bacon. There's a lot of variables that come into play. So sometimes this has been done in 15 minutes, sometimes it's been done in 20, and today it might not be done until 25. So we just let our food tell us when it's done. All right, let's take a peek. We've been air crisping at 330 for 20 minutes now, and they look really good. I mean, really good. We are gonna broil a little bit, so I'm just kind of looking around here, but I think we can go a little bit longer. There's still some fat I want to render out and crisp up some. If you were worried about burning the tops or anything, lower your heat a little bit more, but I think we're going to be fine. I'm going to check it about every minute until I think it's done, and then we will get the marshmallows on and do a little broil. All right, so it's been 23 minutes. Let's take a peek. And yeah, they're ready now. So more of the fat has rendered along the sides. So now let's put on a few marshmallows just to finish this off. Now, if you wanted to serve these later, so you wanted to get them to this point, You can also put the marshmallows on a little bit later and then broil them, whether you do it in the foodie or in the grill or in the oven. You know, it's perfectly fine. The one thing to remember when you're using the Ninja Foodie and these marshmallows, you don't want to pile them too high because there's a fan and the fan will blow them all over the place. They really puff up too. It's kind of fun to watch them. So I just put like maybe a tablespoon, if that, on top of each one. All right, there we go. So now we're gonna switch over to broil. We're gonna go to broil and hit start. We're only gonna go about maybe 3 to 5 minutes. I just want the marshmallows to sort of melt a little bit. I don't even worry about getting them brown because I've found that there's just such a fine line between browning them, burning them, and also having them just kind of fall over the edges and kind of make a mess. So we're just gonna go about 3 to 5 minutes and then we will be done and I'll be ready to taste them. All right, let's peek in on them. It's been about 3 minutes. Well, they're looking good and they are getting a little bit of browning on top, so that's perfect. We're gonna go just another minute or two though. All right, so it's been 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, they look fantastic. Oh, they did get nice and brown on top. Oh, they are beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm scared to even get one out here. All right, let's go ahead and take one out. And they don't stick when you put that lining on, so I would definitely recommend using a non-stick little mat or maybe a piece of parchment, you know, with some holes cut in it. The other thing I'm gonna let you know right off the bat, once you get these out, soak the pot and the basket right away because we've got sugar in there and we added heat, so we're gonna caramelize the sugar on the bottom. Now it's really easy to get out of the non-stick pan, so I don't want you to worry about it, but just soak it right away and it'll make it easier for you. The other thing I wanna mention is I get this question a lot, that's why I'm gonna mention it. The broil in the UK is called grill. So if you don't see a broil function, but you have a grill function, that's the function to use. If you're using the 5-quart that doesn't have the broil or a different type of device that doesn't have broil, just go on your highest bake or air crisp setting and it'll be fine. All right, here we go. Let me turn this off here. I'll just leave that open. All right, oh my gosh, they look so good. So before you serve them, you wanna pull your toothpicks out. The bacon is gonna stay in the shape because it cooked on that way, so removing the toothpick doesn't make any difference. All right, and then you wanna just cut them open. Oh my gosh, look at that. These are so good. They're so incredibly good. All right. I'm gonna let it cool just a minute and then I'll give it a taste. The bacon is nice and caramelized with that glaze that we put on. You can even add a few nuts to the top if you wanted to. So definitely one of those types of dishes that you can, you know, top with whatever you like. If you don't want the marshmallows, skip it, put some nuts on, skip those, however you want to do it. Don't skip the bacon though, oh my gosh. All right, here we go. This is my absolute favorite way to serve sweet potatoes. You get salty, you get sweet, you get the creaminess of the potato. All the flavors work perfectly together. It is absolutely fantastic, and I sure hope you give this one a try.